Hey, happy and healthy altitudes to you. Hello, I'm Gary Giannetti and I'm coming to you from Healthy Altitudes, Colorado. And today I'm going to take you through a quick and simple recipe for hummus. And the reason this came about was I was at the supermarket and my wife called and said, "Could you get that amazing Kalamata olive hummus that we had the other day?" And I said, "Sure." Well, I shouldn't have said sure so quick. I got to the aisle that had the hummus and it wasn't there. So I said, well, why not just make it? I know hummus is a real easy recipe, and sometimes you just need a little direction on how to get it together quick so that you can enjoy it. And sometimes you can just make hummus with the things you have in your house, and it's that simple. And it's even faster than going to the supermarket to buy it. It's also cheaper. But this is a great recipe you can use if you're going to a friend's house and they ask you to bring an appetizer and you're tight on time. It's an easy recipe to use if you're trying to be on a higher protein diet. Chickpeas, garbanzo beans are real high in protein. It's a great source of fiber, also a good source of iron. This one can has one serving has 6% of your daily iron in it. So beans are really good for you. My papa used to say that all the time. When you're done, you'll come up with a finished product that looks like this, and it's great to dip on pita chips, on bread. You can put it on sandwiches. And it'll last for a while in the fridge. And it's a great way to increase the protein in your day, increase the protein in your diet, and it's also a great way to be quick in making an appetizer for a get together with friends. And then it gives you a good thing to talk about that's healthy and be able to enjoy together. So, without further ado, let's dive into this recipe. It's really, really simple. You're going to need some simple things you can buy at the store. Garbanzo beans, tahini. Now, this is something you may not always have at home, but it is a good thing to have, and it does settle. So you're going to want to try to make sure that you stir it up really good. Kalamata olives, Greek olives, a little garlic. I just use this because it's simple, already chopped up, and salt, cumin, measuring cup, teaspoon. The other big key is having a blender or an immersion hand blender. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to just take these beans. This is the fastest appetizer you will be able to make. You can buy pita chips or you can even make pita chips to go with this. You're going to just drain out the water. It's that easy, right? Take the can of beans, dump it in. Okay, we're going to take some of the tahini. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to use some of this cumin, and I'm going to put half a teaspoon in here. Now, if you like the flavor of cumin, or if you like the flavor of onion, you could spice this up. You could put a little of something else in it. Remember, as you're doing this, I put about a half a teaspoon of cumin in. Do less of the seasoning at first. You can always add more seasoning later. Okay, so added the cumin in. Now, also, a couple things to think about as you're taking your measurements. You can use a measuring cup, you can use a spoon, or you can just eyeball it and then add those ingredients later. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to take about half a cup of these olives because the olives give it a nice flavor. Okay, I'm going to take these olives, I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to just use about a half a cup. All right, and this is really easy. The other things that might be nice in this: sun-dried tomatoes, onion. You could add in toasted pine nuts. That's also a really nice addition. But what I'm going to do here that's a little different, instead of using a lot of olive oil, and you can use a little olive oil as well, I'm going to just take this, dump that in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of the juice of the olives. Okay, 2 tablespoons of the juice of the olives. I did one more for good luck because I like olives. All right, so we got the olives in there. Now we need to go to our tahini. I used this spoon. Remember, as you're doing your measurements, 2 teaspoons is the equivalent to 1 tablespoon. So you want to look at, if you're using minced garlic or diced up chopped garlic, what is the equation for a clove of garlic? I think with this particular one, I think it's a teaspoon. So I'm going to do 4 of these. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and this helps add some of the body and the texture and the good fats. 4, okay? Now, that's really, really simple to add that in. Again, you can add more in. You can go back and add more to it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use just simple lemon juice that's already made, okay? I'm trying to stay fast here so you can see how quick we can throw this together. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, all right? And about 4 tablespoons is about a quarter of a cup, okay? Again, this doesn't have to be an exact science here. Take some salt. I like salt, so I'm going to add that in. I mean, why not? You know, if you have normal blood pressure, salt's not a big issue. Um, and if you do have high blood pressure, though, you can get reduced salt chickpeas. Again, I'm not going to add a ton of garlic. I don't want garlic to be the predominant flavor. I want the olives to shine through. You can get reduced salt chickpeas, olives, and you don't have to add salt. Okay, so it's going to be loud here for a second, but what we're going to do is we're just going to put this on pulse mode to try to pulse some of this up and just chop it up a little bit. Now again, here's where if you really wanted to add in a little bit of the olive oil, you could certainly add olive oil to it. I find that the flavor of this, just the way it is delicious, and it doesn't need that extra olive oil. But if you do want to add just a touch of that, you can. Now, the good thing about having spoons handy when you're making this is that you can taste test it along the way. And I encourage you, so the texture comes out pretty good, just like that. Okay, it gives you a little body. Smells like olives. And then I'm going to use a spoon to just taste test this a little bit. Perfect. Now again, it only takes a couple minutes. You saw how fast we made that. It's got olives in it. It's got all the great flavors. It'll go well with pita chips or even just tortilla chips. Pita chips, whole wheat pita chips are a great high fiber option. They're also really sturdy. This is a very hearty chickpea hummus. So having a sturdy chip will really help make a difference. But there's a great way to boost up your protein with your appetizer. Higher iron, great fiber, and it tastes so good as an easy appetizer. I hope that you can enjoy it. I hope that it helps you eat well for your life. I'll see you next time.